Thursday, October 5th, 2017, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So early market update. It's 11 a.m. London time or 6 a.m. New York or Eastern Daylight Time. And yeah, the markets have been fairly steady this morning. Currency's a bit on the move, especially the British pound. So let's start out with the precious metals. Spot gold right now, $12.78, up about $3. Yesterday, gold did well early on in the day, and then as usual, as the US, they went along and ended, gold traded towards, the bottom of the range. We'd gotten up to 1282 in London, and then I think we were trading around 1273, 1274 by the time the US closed. So this morning again, we've had a high of 1279, a low of 1273. It looks like gold is holding fairly well here, around this 1275 level, so to speak. Silver yesterday did really well as well, but got hammered a little bit towards the end of the day, towards 1658, 1660. We had gotten up as high as 1690 yesterday. Right now is 1665, up about 9 cents. Range has been 1671 to 1654. The Dow is up right now, up 3 points only, so basically unchanged, 22,655. S&P 500 up 1 point, 2538. And the big mover in the currencies today has been the British pound. British pound at 131.90, so down 56. We in the last few weeks we got up to as high as 136. And if you remember well, after Brexit, on the day of the result came out, June 23rd, 24th last year, the pound dumped all the way to around 135 and then rebounded a little bit. So that 136 level is really important, and the pound has failed to get back above that level. So right now, down almost 0.5%. The pound in gold terms, the pound is almost back up to 970. Recently, we as almost a month ago, gold got back up to like, 1,000, almost 1,030. But recently we've had this sharp correction in gold, and the low has been around 950, 954. So now we're at almost 970. I guess the next key level in sterling is 1,000 for the price of gold. Euro fairly unchanged this morning, 117.60, up only two pips. Range has been 117.79 to 117.47. The Catalonia question remains up in the air. I think yesterday the Catalonian officials told the BBC that they were going to declare independence, I think, in the next few days or sometime next week. So that's still up in the air. Could be, something out of left field that people hadn't seen coming or didn't realize would be so important. So still need to keep an eye on that. Dollar yen, dollar a little weaker right now, 112.60, down 13 pips. The low has been 112.54, the high 112.92. And of course, we need the dollar to weaken if we want to see gold keep going higher. I made a video almost a month ago now about, the petrodollar and the fact that the Chinese are trying to dethrone the petrodollar. Not really dethrone, but I think it's more diversifying, and it was a very popular video. There's a lot of talk about this subject. Today, I think there's an article as well that they've posted on Zero Hedge, which actually comes from a Russian foundation, and it talks about de-dollarization. basically the same subject that I talked about in my video about a month ago, how the opening of a energy exchange in Shanghai where you can buy oil or sell oil in yuan, and then you can take those yuans and convert it to gold through the Shanghai Gold Exchange, which will be linked to this Shanghai International Energy Exchange. The Shanghai International Energy Exchange is up and running, so to speak. They're testing this oil contract still, but it's not hasn't been put on the board, so to speak. It's not being traded. And the reason I brought this up, this subject, is because there's an interesting article, and I'll put a link to it in the description on Bloomberg.com, and it says Saudi king seeks oil pact extension on epochal Russia visit. So, it says here, Salman and Putin to meet as ties warm between one-time rivals. Saudi visit shows Russia-Middle East influence after Syria. And I'll read a little bit here about this. I'll quote the article. It says, Saudi King Salman bin Abdulaziz is making a historic first visit to Russia by a monarch of the Gulf Kingdom, as he and President Vladimir Putin seek an understanding on whether to extend an agreement curbing oil supplies. And why is this interesting, and why do I think there's a relationship between this and also the Shanghai Energy Exchange and the gold for yuan? Well, because Russia as well, it's been recently in the news that Russia's continuing to accelerate its purchase of physical gold. Their reserves have been going up quite substantially, and they're diversifying away from the fiat money dollar. So this just goes to show that gold could also come in to a lot more important play a lot more important part between nations, unilaterally, like Saudi Arabia and Russia, or Russia and China, or Saudi Arabia and China. It's all, and the main link will not be the US dollar. It will be gold, which is like a neutral currency. It's a currency that governments can't come and say, like the US still does, we're going to put sanctions on you. We're going to stop you from using the US dollar system or the SWIFT system, just like US Treasury Secretary Mnuchin said a week or so ago, maybe a little longer ago, that they're threatening China. If they don't help the U.S. with the North Korea crisis, they're threatening China, to block them from the U.S. dollar system. And China is the biggest creditor of the United States. So I'm sure Saudi Arabia probably is thinking the same thing. We need to hedge our bets. And in the little there's a video on this Bloomberg article, and basically that's what they say as well, that all these countries, Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, and others, like the BRIC nations, I don't think they're necessarily trying to go against the dollar. They're just trying to protect their own interests and have, how can I say, options. It doesn't mean they're not going to ever deal in dollars again, but it just means that they will not have to deal in dollars if they don't have to. And gold will play an important part, because gold is the only currency that can be trusted. Gold doesn't default. Gold doesn't put sanctions on you. The only thing that one can do to gold is steal it. I guess you could invade a country and take all their gold. Like some countries have done, like Germany did in World War II. The first thing they used to do is go into the central bank and take all the gold out of the vaults. Even in World War I, they did that. So I just thought that was interesting. As I said, I'll put the link below in the description. And as I leave here, gold is right now 1278.50, so still doing fairly well here, and the Dow unchanged. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, share it far and wide, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.